From the Detroit Free Press, I'm Robin Chan with today's Voice Briefing. It's Wednesday, June 25th, 2025.
This is Todd Spangler, Washington correspondent for the Detroit Free Press. Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib of Detroit is calling on the Trump administration to stop using detention facilities at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, to house undocumented migrants. She also would like to see the controversial site closed permanently. Tlaib led a group of 15 Democratic members of Congress this week in sending a letter to the Defense Department and Homeland Security. In it, they objected to Trump's increased use of Guantanamo Bay as a place to hold migrants being deported. The facilities have a long history of being used to hold suspected terrorists under conditions some have objected to. The Trump administration has said it wants to ramp up deportations and put even more migrants in the facilities also known as Gitmo. As such, it is unlikely that Tlaib and the others, a group that also included Congressman Sri Thanadar of Detroit, to close the facility anytime soon.
For the Detroit Free Press, I'm Jalen Williams. Michiganders have been facing the first heat wave of summer the past few days. Temperatures reached 98 degrees on June 23rd in southeast Michigan. To stay safe, residents should stay hydrated, dress cool, and apply sunscreen before heading out.
Hey there, everybody. This is Omari Sanko for the second Pistons beat writer for the Detroit Free Press. On this week's episode of our podcast, The Pistons Post, Bryce Simon and I were joined by Stephen Gillespie and Maxwell Bombach of No Ceilings to break down the Pistons' options in the second round and potential trade-up targets in a live mock draft. Here's a quick snippet of our conversation.
I kind of like the idea that Omari's rolling with, but I would want to go with a bigger guy who could do these same things, which is why I want to go with Koby Brea. I just think that Kobe has a lot more utility. It just gives you some more size, and I think that could be valuable for what the Pistons are building.
Maxwell, where are you at with this pick?
Yeah, I'm with Steven. I kind of like Koby Brea here. I think with Lanier, I'd wanted to be in so bad, and I feel like he just doesn't leverage his athleticism all that well. He's not much of a playmaker. With Brea, I at least have that second wrinkle that gets me a little bit closer to like an AJ Green, where I feel like the number of like pure shooting specialists that are like 6'4" and below is really small. With Brea, I've got that little bit of extra size, and I've got that playmaking wrinkle downhill that gives me a little bit something else that I can lean into. With both these guys, we're not talking about the best defenders, but I think with Brea, like, he's got a longer track record of shooting and making, I think, more threes more consistently. And I'm just a bigger buyer in the passing. And I think that with the defensive insulation that Detroit has in their young core, he can kind of get away with being a negative defender a little bit more here.
You can hear that full conversation in this week's episode of The Pistons Post, which is available wherever you listen to podcasts. And as always, you can find our latest coverage on freep.com/sports.
Find more from the Detroit Free Press on freep.com. That's FREEP.com. Thank you for listening, and you'll hear more from us tomorrow.